This is Jared's garage, or Garage Gerard, with my temporary sandblasting cabin, the frame from a Mobylette AV72 that I am renovating, my outside working table, and all the tooling inside needed to be Garage Gerard, isn't it? This is my 45-year-old Mobylette AV92, but it lacks one basic thing, that's the engine. Today I want to rebuild the engine with a new cylinder, new cylinder head, new piston, oil seals, etc. When you need to rebuild the carter halves with the seal, the oil seals, the bearings, the crankshaft, you need to work with temperature differences. If a bearing is cold and the carter half is hot, then it will slip together easily. So my crankshaft is in the deep freezer. The carter halves are in a kitchen oven at 140 degrees, which is no problem because there are no plastics fitted on the carter half, so that's can go up to 200 degrees without a problem. First thing to do is fit the oil seals. These need to be fitted with the spring to the outside. For the rest, after putting the oil seals, I will put it back in the oven, prepare the paper seal, and take my crankshaft from the deep freezer and fit everything together as fast as possible. Since the carter halves will be very hot, I put gloves on. I measured the diameter of these oil seals, 21 millimeter, and I have found this to tap it. This is 21 millimeter also. I took a long extension that will make it easy to tap exactly vertical. Also, I have found some rings to put the carter half on, because one false hit and the oil seal will be spoiled. This is the first carter half, and yeah, this will be very stable. Put this joint, this seal in that direction, put it horizontal as much as possible, that way. Use aluminium inserts to prevent any scratching. Oh. Wow. Okay, that's more than enough. Now the other one. Now we cannot do any full turns anymore, but that's no problem. You do that in. Okay, this quarter half is ready. I can put it back in the oven again. The quarter halves are preheated now, so I will put the joint first. To promote that it slips in as light as possible. It's ice cold. Okay. Put that over here. I measured this space 6.6 millimeters, and I have found a wrench that is 6.6 millimeters also, and you will see why I did that. So this is the circlip side, this is the clutch side. I slip it in right here, and it slips in by the cold and the heat of these quarter halves. Okay, next step, the other half. I put some scotch over there, transparent scotch, over the circlip to avoid damaging the oil seal. So let's slip it over it. Okay, that goes good. The holes, fitting of the holes is not that important, but the paper should not be over the rim. Okay. Let me give this a few blows. This is too short. This is not too short, but quite weak. But maybe it's sufficient. Okay. I guess this will work. Let's take a look. Good. The spacing over there and over there are very good. These are two old crankshaft bearings, but you can do this trick with any old bearing. In that way you can check if you need any washers to improve the fitting in a carter or a linkage box, boite de relais. I first clean them to degrease them. The inside, the easiest way to do the inside is with a Dremel. If you don't have this, or even if you don't have a Dremel, you can use this in a normal drill, and you will be able to do this job also nicely. good. Now let me put my key in. So that I can give I want to avoid as much dirt. This is okay. That's, wow, it is practically super. It's never wrong to give a few taps with a wooden or plastic hammer. This is fine. Okay, that's it. Let's remove the scotch. With a knife. Because if we forget that, then we will have a problem later. Good, that's neat and clean. Now that we have checked that the crankshaft turns perfect, is right in the middle, and the carter halves are well closed, I checked the manual and I see that this should be mounted over there and that all nuts should be on this side. So I'm going to modify that first. Okay, here we need this little support. Okay, well, the manual says that this is not okay. You need a flange over there in between, so I have to unlock this. I forgot to say in the video that this should be joined in a way that it's completely flat. If not, untwist all bolts and tap or twist it in this way with the bolts still in place so that the joint doesn't slip in a wrong way. I checked the flatness of the cylinder, the lower or the upper part of the carter halves, and I'm not impressed by its flatness. So what I will do is I will apply some plastic joint on the paper joint. That will prevent any leakage definitively. Okay, with all this correctly mounted now, I'm going to prevent that anything drops in there, especially the clips that will hold the piston pen. Now I can put a new needle bearing in it with a little bit of oil. That's sufficient. It's just for the first start. Okay, heat the piston in the oven. The piston pen I will put in the fridge, and so then it will be very easy to mount everything together. I have a hot piston now and a cold piston pen, And what I will do is first show you that there is an arrow on the piston. That arrow should point forward. This is the clutch side, that's the ignition side, that's the right side. So forward means this direction. Okay. Put some oil on it. And let's hope that it slips in lightly. So far it does. Doesn't it want to continue? Yes, okay, good. Some space for the circlip over here. Yes, that's better. Okay. Yeah, that's one. Now the other side. And that's two. Good. These small pins that will prevent the piston rings from turning all around and destroying your cylinder should be pointing forward too. So even when there is no arrow, these two little pins over there that you can't see, of course, need to be pointing forward. Take care that this shape is identical to that shape and that you don't force it, because then you have to buy a new one. And it is cheap, but you have always the shipment costs, because you only can get them by internet, or you must make it yourself from drawing paper. I forgot to start a video, so I'll show you once more how you slide the cylinder on the piston. I've cleaned the piston from the joint material. Most important is that the piston rings are located exactly where the pins are, the pins that will hold the rings in place. And then you gently push. You can push it in the piston ring from the side, because there the cylinder is open. Okay, there he goes. And here we have the marriage. And I see that this is touching, so we'll... That's the wrong one. This one, all from Mobylette Motobécane.fr in France. They have the widest range of Okay, so this could be placed in two ways. I don't think there is any difference. No. No. While searching for the washers, I found the old piston. Look at the damage it got. The cylinder has suffered little damage. There is still a pin over there, but this pin completely disappeared. You see? And that made damage everywhere. So that was the reason to renew the cylinder, etc. Crosswise, one by one. Now I can tighten this one again. Okay. Then tighten the other one on top of that one, and then tighten the pair. Okay, not too much. The cylinder, look, the joint is more than large enough for this part, but it partially blocks the intake for the piston, and I don't like that, so I will make this a little bit larger. The lower, that's all okay, but it's the width that's the problem. Using this tool on the Dremel, I'll put some grease on the joint. I wiped off the excess, and we can now slip it on. Check if this is the right, yeah, okay. I'm rebuilding this moped with a LED light and a 12-volt klaxon horn, so I don't need the light bobbin. So first we need to fit these two screw lock liquid. Okay, that's quite much, but we'll wipe off the excess. Yeah. There is always this handy vice grip to put on, and also here don't exaggerate because the glue will do the rest.